By the time I sat down, the table already felt decided. Not in a dramatic way. Nothing overt. Just the subtle sense that everything had a place, and I was fitting myself into the edges of it. Chairs scraped, someone laughed too loudly. The heat from the kitchen followed my mother, and as she carried the last serving dish like it was a fragile thing. I remember noticing the details first. I always do. How many plates were stacked? How the serving spoon rested in the bowl like it expected to be used again. How my brother's girlfriend was already seated, napkin unfolded, glass filled. I had brought a dish, something warm, something I'd made early that morning, while the house was still quiet. It sat near the middle of the table, untouched, steam fogging the edge of the glass serving dish. I'd cooked it the way my mother taught me years ago, back when she still noticed when I did things right. "Go ahead," someone said. "Dig in," I waited. Not because I thought I had to, but because waiting had become automatic. Plates moved around me. Forks clinked. Portions were generous in the way they always were for everyone else. No measuring, no hesitation. My brother reached across me without looking. His girlfriend smiled at something my aunt said and accepted a second spoonful of potatoes without comment. When my turn finally came, my mother paused. "Oh," she said, glancing between the bowls. Her voice lifted slightly, like she was narrating a minor inconvenience to herself. "I don't think there's enough left." She didn't look at me when she said it. I waited for the rest of the sentence, the part where she'd fix it, suggest something, offer half of hers, say she'd forgotten but would make it right. Instead, she sighed. "I'm sorry, honey. I really thought it would stretch." The apology was already drifting away as she turned back to the stove. I felt something old settle in my chest. Not anger, not surprise. Recognition. "It's okay," I heard myself say, because that's what I always said. It came out easily, without effort, like muscle memory. No one reacted. The conversation picked back up where it had paused, as if nothing unusual had happened. Someone joked about how full they were. Someone else reached for more gravy. Then I saw it. My brother's girlfriend held out her plate again, laughing. "I shouldn't, but it's so good." "Of course," my mother said immediately, already moving. "There's plenty." She scooped without counting. I don't think anyone noticed me watching. And that, more than anything, clarified things. There was a moment, a brief, quiet one, where I considered saying something. Not yelling, not accusing, just stating a fact. "You said there wasn't enough." But I could already hear how it would land. Too sensitive. Making it awkward. Ruining Christmas. I could already see the looks, the shifting discomfort, the way the focus would move from what happened to how I reacted. So instead, I stood up. The chair legs made a small sound against the floor. Not loud. Not enough to stop the room. A few heads turned out of reflex, then turned back. I walked to the center of the table and picked up the dish I'd brought. It was still warm. Heavier than I expected. "I'm just gonna head out," I said. My voice didn't shake. That surprised me. My mother looked up, then startled. Why?" "I'm not hungry anymore," I said. Which was true, in a way that had nothing to do with food. There was a beat of confusion. My brother frowned like I'd broken a rule without explaining it. His girlfriend looked embarrassed, then uncertain, like she wasn't sure if she was supposed to apologize for existing. "You could at least sit," my mother said. "Don't be dramatic." I didn't respond. I didn't trust myself to choose words that wouldn't be dissected later. I picked up my coat, balanced the dish carefully, and walked out. The cold air hit my face like permission. The messages started before I reached my car. "That was rude. You embarrassed Mom. You could have handled that better. No one asked if I was okay. No one asked if I'd eaten." I didn't reply. At home, I reheated my food and ate alone at the kitchen counter. It tasted fine, comforting even. I wrapped the leftovers and put them away, noticing how calm my hands felt. Later that night, my mother called. "I don't understand why you made a scene," she said. Her voice was tight, wounded in a way that felt practiced. Everyone noticed. "I didn't say anything," I replied. "Walking out like that is saying something." She insisted. "I thought about that. About how silence is only considered loud when it interrupts a pattern." I didn't feel welcome. I said carefully. She exhaled, impatient. "You're reading into things. It was a simple mistake. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. What mattered was how often the same mistake happened and who it always happened to. Christmas came and went, then New Year's. Then a birthday dinner I wasn't invited to but heard about afterward, through photos and casual mentions. I stopped bringing dishes. Stopped filling gaps. Stopped making myself useful in ways that could be mistaken for obligation. No one confronted me directly. Instead, there were comments. It feels different when you're not there. We just assumed you were busy. You've changed, duh. I didn't argue. Change didn't feel like an accusation anymore. The real shift came months later, quietly, when my mother asked, almost shyly, if I was coming to Easter. I'm not sure. I said honestly. There was a pause. Then, well, if you do, let me know what you'd like me to make. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't accountability. But it was an acknowledgement that something had moved. I didn't commit. I didn't refuse. I just noticed how the balance of effort had shifted slightly, because I had stood up once and chosen not to explain myself. I still think about that Christmas sometimes. About the plate that never made it to me. About how easy it would have been to swallow it, literally and figuratively, and stay. Leaving didn't fix everything. It didn't make me closer to my family. It didn't turn me into someone fearless or endlessly self-assured. But it did teach me something precise and lasting. Dignity doesn't announce itself. It doesn't argue. Sometimes it just stands up, picks up what it brought, and walks away. And sometimes that's enough to finally be noticed, even if it's never fully understood.